guys, Josh here from Working Man Reads. Today I'm in the basement like usual, and I am bringing you my book review for Syon Das's Buried with the Night short story collection. There is 5 stories in this. It is some graphic horror in here, awesome deep dives into the truly terrifying things in this world, and he had put a lot of work into these stories, and it shows. He definitely takes pride in his craft, and I loved the the name drops for there was Keelan Patrick Burke, the one character I like to read, and he listens to heavy metal music and things like that. And I know Syon and I share that in common, and we both listen to metal and stuff. So it was cool to see that. There was even a reference in the first story early on where he was like, people think that people that play terrifying video games and watch gory movies and listen to metal, they're the murderers. And Syon even says, he's like, in the book, the character says that no, it's really the people that are hiding in plain sight that you should be worried about. And I just love that line. I loved Syon's writing, and the quick synopsis of this is that you need to go check it out for yourself. Check it out on ebook. Check it out. Go buy this from him. Reach out to him. See if you can buy it direct and pay. He's a really good guy and a good author. And I don't want to spoil any of these stories, so any of my quick synopsises will not spoil these stories for you. That is my goal with short stories. It is difficult to review short stories and not spoil anything. But the first one is Curtis. And you were in the mind of a therapist, and there's something not quite right about him. He is slightly obsessed with serial killers. He's done a lot of research on them. He is obsessed with this new client he has named Curtis, and in the back of this therapist's mind, he thinks that Curtis is a ticking time bomb, that he's basically the next Ted Bundy. So I'm going to leave it there. Check that story out. It's awesome. The next one is a story called Higher Learning, and a college kid. The opening scene is that a college kid murdered or kills himself right in front of his girlfriend. And you then, a couple pages later, you start to learn more about this kid, and you learn that basically in high school he was a bully, and you actually then enter the mind of a gentleman who was bullied by him in the past. And so I'm going to leave it there, but there's some other things that happen, and this guy tries to get revenge on the dead person, and maybe make some money off of him. And we'll leave it at that. Number 3, Family Story. Now this one, I think this might be my favorite Syon. I don't know. It's either this one or number 5. But Family Story, you get dropped in. It's Halloween night. Super nostalgic. There's 2 boys. They're brothers, and they're just monging on some candy. They're staying up late, hanging out. Their mom's out of the house, and they're watching horror movies, and it's midnight. And then all of a sudden, knock, knock, knock. They hear something at the door, and they then go and explore it, and they find their aunt there. So, nothing to be worried about. I'm going to leave that one at that. Number 4, 2 guys can be hired to make one-of-a-kind snuff films. If you want somebody murdered, they'll do it for you for a price, and they'll make you a video so you can watch. And this one was dark, it was gory, and it was fun. So, check that one out. I don't want to spoil anything else. So, the final one was kind of Syon's. This might be, I enjoyed the writing in this one the most. Number 5. I'm going to do my best to pronounce it, Syon, so sorry. Darjeeling. And this is set in the Himalayan mountains. And before I even get into the quick synopsis for this, I just kind of want to read a little bit of Syon's writing so you can see what I'm talking about. The thing is, these Himalayan regions, they're strange. Davek's expression grew cold. They have a different vibe after sundown. You can feel it. You can tell that the trees don't sway the same anymore. Then there's the silence. Rohit wasn't smirking anymore. All 5 scouts began to get lost in the housekeeper's words. It's a type of silence that lets your imagination come into play. The deeper you delve into it, the less aware you become of what's in your head, and what actually might be around you. It's even more true in the case of young men, such as yourself, with minds so curious. You're always in the mood for discovery, and this place, it can sense that. It will give you something new, something different to remember. I'm gonna stop there, but it goes on. Like, he is painting this picture of somewhere I've never been. Never been to the Himalayas, imagine that. But he just paints this picture and it puts you in this ominous feeling as he's writing. And that's really good. For an indie, this whole time, I couldn't believe that this was indie. That this was not, this needs to be read by more people. So, Darjeeling, you follow a teen. You're dropped into a story where a teen was killed horribly. He was horribly murdered in this house, in his room, and a housekeeper found him. His family then sells the house to the housekeeper, and that housekeeper's name is Mr. Meliker, and then his brother visits his brother, who is now the housekeeper, and brings a troop of scouts with him. And basically that scene that I read was the housekeeper explaining the Himalayan region and the mysteries that can be there. It's terrifying. It's gruesome. Read this book. Number 5, I think, is my favorite, the more I think about it. So, Syon, thank you for that. There was so much that I was just like, I could see, like, you just knew that he wrote it, because now that I get to know him in my comments and stuff, I appreciate this, man. I thank you so much for sending it for review, and I can't wait to read more from you. So let me know if I can purchase anything else from you, man, because I got to read more. So thank you so much. I actually wanted to read the about the author at the end here, because it's kind of cool. He's from New York City, which isn't too far from me. It's about 6 or 7 hours. But Syon Das lives in New York City. When he's not writing dark fiction, horror, or poetry, he is watching HBO shows, listening to true crime podcasts, reading the work of talented indie authors, and playing heavy metal guitar, and writing about himself in the third person. And so just reach out to him and see if you can buy a book off of him, or go to Amazon right now and pick it up, because Syon, thank you, man. You will always, be here with me, man, because you, like I said, you reached out to me when I didn't have that many subs, which I still don't, but and I appreciate you believing in me, man. So been a long day. Apparently I can't talk, but thank you so much, brother, and peace.